IIM Mumbai's interview experience was one of the toughest interviews I faced. And I am saying this despite having faced interviews for institutes like IIM Lucknow, IIM Kozhikode, FMS, and many other top B schools. And I would also recommend you all to please make sure that you watch this interview till the interview experience till the end, because this is a perfect example of how you can mess up with more than 50% of the questions and still convert an interview. Hello everyone, I am Rishikesh Mukherkar, currently a student at IIM Lucknow, and you are watching the academic Voyager. So in this video, I will be covering my in-depth interview experience of IIM Mumbai. My IIM Mumbai's interview was scheduled in the month of April, and it was one of my last interviews of the entire season. After IIM Mumbai's interview, I guess only FMS interview was remaining for me, which was scheduled in the third week of April. So I had gone through so many different interviews in the past in the entire season that included so many prestigious B schools. So I was very confident about this interview, and IIM Mumbai was one of my best calls that I had, because apparently I considered IIM Mumbai, IIM Lucknow, and FMS to be my best calls, and I really wanted to convert them. But my confidence was so high for IIM Mumbai that I never expected IIM Mumbai's interview to turn out in this way. So my interview was scheduled in the afternoon slot, and my interview was in fact scheduled in IIM Mumbai itself. So I got a chance to go through the campus and roam around in the campus. It's a really beautiful campus, and the walking around the lake feels really serene. So after waiting for some time, I went inside, and I had to wait for a long time, in fact, before my interview. And when I went inside, I was full of confidence, like I said. So the interview started with a very simple question: tell me about yourself, and I answered the one that I had prepared through so many interviews. So usually what used to happen is the panelist used to take something from the tell me about yourself and ask me about it, and this is how the conversation usually started. But for the first time, they directly asked me whether do you know statistics? You are an engineer. So like I always tell in my videos that as an engineer, I always expected statistics to be a part of my interview. And so I very confidently said, yes, sir, I do know about statistics. And the first question that they asked me was about central limit theorem. Now, I did know the implications of central limit theorem, and I explained it to them. But next question that they asked me was about regression analysis and A/B testing. Now, as an engineer, there are different branches of engineering which have different implications of statistics. As a civil engineer, I never faced regression analysis or A/B testing. I did not even hear about these terms unless it was some app testing topics that I used to discuss with my friends. But they asked me about these, and I was not able to answer them. So I just simply said that no, I don't know about it. I will definitely look into it. And this went on for over 3 to 4 questions after this, that they were asking me a question and I was not able to answer it. So after this season, after this session of questions on statistics, they moved on to work experience. So now I thought, okay, now the work experience thing has started, and now I can answer the questions properly. So they asked me, what do you do? So I told them that I am a structural engineer on Pune Metro project, and I am working with Sistra India. So they asked me, okay, do you know about testing of these structures that you design? And I had a pretty rough idea about it, that there are two different types of testings, like destructive testing, non-destructive testing. And I did not expect them to go into depths of this. I expected them to move on and ask me some other factors of my work experience. So then they asked me about what are the different types of non-destructive testing you know. And I honestly did not know. I never took this as an elective even in my engineering. And so I had to tell them, no, I don't know. And again, they went on 2 to 3 levels deeper in the same topic. And I again had to say them that I don't know answers to this. So it was almost half of the interview that I was not knowing the answers to. And after this, they moved on to the topic of sustainability. Now, again, as IIM Mumbai offers 3 different courses, one is PGP, one is PGP, Operations and Supply Chain Management, and Sustainability Management. So I had a pretty rough idea that they will be asking me some things about sustainability, and I told them whatever I knew. Then they asked me about circular economy, which is fortunately I had read about it, because that is one of the most important topics when it comes to sustainable management. And they asked also about me about different topics from sustainability, which I had prepared fortunately, and I was able to answer them. And after this, they asked me a question about what are the different calls you have. So I told them that I have call from IIM Lucknow, FMS, and IIM Kozhikode, and some other top B schools. So they said, if you are offered admission from all of these along with IIM Mumbai, which one would you be choosing? So here I answered within a second spontaneously that I would be choosing IIM Mumbai for sure, because my inclination is towards operations and supply chain management, and I don't think that there is any institute in India which is better than IIM Mumbai for this particular branch. So from this they said, okay, so you are inclined towards operations and supply chain. So they asked me some questions about that as well, but as I told in my preparation video also, that I had prepared some of the basics about the topic that, or the branch that I was going to be telling them that I would be preparing for this. So I had prepared for operations and supply chains basic questions, and they asked me questions like what is stuck time, what is lead time, how is it calculated, and I had a pretty good idea about how to do that. So this part of the interview also went really well. So the crux of this interview is that it is possible to convert an interview even if you do not know answers to half of the questions in the interview. Just make sure that your composure throughout the interview remains constant, your composure is maintained, your cool is maintained, you do not get frightened or panicked. Treat each and every question as it is the first question you are facing. No matter what happened in the question previously, the new question which they are asking, you should answer that question with the same enthusiasm which you would have answered as your first question. This is the key learning that I understood from IIM Mumbai's interview experience, because in the interview room, literally anything can happen. The interview can go in any direction. It is very important that you maintain your composure in the room, which is one of the most important factors they are looking for in the candidates for MBA. So if you like this video, do like, share and subscribe, and do let me know in the comment section if you have any questions with respect to IIM Mumbai's interview experience. I would be more than happy to address them, and stay tuned for my more videos. Thank you.